Hey guys, it's Piece of Cake Mom with a different way to do fondant transfers. As always, I started with some inspiration, and this is what I wanted my transfer to look like, and this is how it turned out. I really wanted it to look like fondant, so this is how we get started. Much like a regular transfer, I just printed out the logo from Google, and then I'm setting some parchment paper over the top. I'm kind of outlining it. You'll see though why it doesn't need to be perfect in just a bit. We're going to fill it up, and it's actually going to need to be pretty thick. And the reason for that is we don't want it to break when we go to move it. As you can see, it's pretty thick on here too. Now I'm placing a piece of parchment paper over the top, and I'm going to actually smooth it out. And this is the reason it didn't need to be perfect when I was piping it. I'm also using a book, my son's book, to kind of help with the smoothing. And what it does is it erases the lines basically, and it looks more even, like fondant. You won't be able to tell that it was piped on. What you're going to do next is you're going to put it in the freezer on a hard surface, and freezing times may vary. It took about 10 minutes to freeze mine. In the meantime, we're going to do the yellow. So with that same picture that I got from the internet, we're going to do some yellow, and it's got to be thick as well. Try to get it kind of even on there. You don't want one side a lot thicker than the other side. And again, it doesn't need to be perfect because we're just going to squish it all so that it's nice and smooth. This time I don't do it with my hands at all. I just use the book. And I'm going to stick it also in the freezer. And don't worry if it's a little bumpy. It'll settle to where it's a little more smooth and you won't see that. Again, it has to be thick. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make some kind of stencils, I guess is what you would call them, with that same exact printout. We're going to start with the yellow. The yellow is going to go down first. Once it's all cut out, I can peel the top off, and it doesn't take any buttercream. And then once it's softened just a little bit, you're going to be able to take a toothpick and kind of trace around it. You're going to carve it out. So you don't want your buttercream super frozen still, but you don't want the paper to be able to stick to it. It's going to take a lot of messing with to kind of figure out, the best way to do it. And each buttercream recipe is a tiny bit different, or if you're like me, I don't even measure anymore, and I just kind of throw it together. So you're gonna have to play with your own recipe. But once it's all cut out, you are gonna put it back in the freezer, because this time we want it super hard to be able to put it on your iced cake. Next, we're doing the black part. I'm just gonna cut it out so that we have a nice clean transfer. I'm really sorry that the angle is not good on this. I had no idea that it was so out of focus, but you're doing it exactly the same way as you did the yellow. Put it back in the freezer so that you can move it. So you take your iced cake, you lay the yellow right on top. Do not push the buttercream down if your cake is not perfectly flat. The buttercream will warm up to temperature and it'll lay perfectly on your cake. As you can see, I broke my Batman, but buttercream is beautiful and you can literally just erase the seam with your fingers. It turns out awesome almost every time. I also cleaned up the sides, and check it out. It looks really good, just like fondant, nice and smooth, and you can do this with all different kinds of cakes. I've done just about everything so far with the technique that I'm using. Some Spider-Man, some Mickey Mouse, even the little dots are done this way. The checkers are really hard, but definitely super cool. Here I did the rainbow, and who could forget Minnie Mouse? I really hope you liked my video. I do new videos all the time. Please subscribe to see more, and have a great day.